Hi, I'm Darren Spencer. Today we're going to talk about resetting edges on our blade wear. We're going to be using the blade sharpener sharpening system, and once we've finished setting the edges on that, we'll use a sharpening steel just to finish that process off, and then our knives will be sharp and ready to go again.
For a resetting tool like this?
A system like this one here, where you've got the adjustment on both the edge here once your blade goes in. Actually, should we put a blade in there so that you can see?
You can do.
Might be a better idea, right? Yeah. Just to feel like if it's there, then people can see it. You just have to nip it in. And then I can do the flip over part. Have that stone nice and close. Have the oil sitting there as well. We've got everything we need on there. Got the sharpening stone, so it's okay. Yep.
So Darren, what's a system like this worth, a resetting tool that you have here?
Okay, this sharpening system here, the blade sharpener, you're looking at somewhere around about the high 200s, 275 to 299. The features with this particular one here is once the actual knife has been put into the actual blade system here, as you're sharpening, you can spin the blade over. What I mean by that is once the actual stone's in there and you're using the stone and you're finished on that side, it's as simple as pulling it out, letting it go back in to work the other side of the blade.
Excellent. And are these products you sell?
This is a product that we do sell. We also have the stones and we do sharpening steels. This system is one of the better systems that I've found out there in the marketplace. It's a little bit bigger than some of the others, but I've found that over the years it sets my edges on all my different bladeware, whether it's a house kitchen knife, a hunting knife, a fishing knife. It can pretty much do anything, even down to some of your pocket knives as well.
So you don't really need stones as such, like loose stones or files or anything like that, because all you need is this and what else?
Well, I guess the key to this one here, you're still using a stone, but if you're trying to use a stone manually, not a lot of us are good enough to keep that consistent edge that we're getting by doing it the way we're doing it here. So a system is the best way to reset an actual edge, and then a steel will keep it touched up to keep it sharp as you're going.
Yep. And of course everybody's got a lot of knives around the house, so you think, why would you spend that sort of money on one knife? But in reality, there are knives everywhere in the house, aren't there?
Most of us have got a lot more knives than we actually realise when you start doing a count of your knives in the back of the vehicle if you're using them for your camping environment, in your tucker box, through to your kitchen knives, as I said, fishing knives, and even down to things like chisels, scrapers. There's quite a few different products you can run through here, your machetes.
Scissors.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's get into it.
And just lightly run it over. Check that angle. Make sure that we're happy. That is very close to the original angle, and I'm happy that it is. So we're ready now to actually reset that edge with the coarse stone just slightly, then finish off on the fine. It won't take very much for this blade to come back to being pretty much razor sharp.
Beautiful. Now,
I believe that angle is about perfect.
so you've put the texture on the blade, along the blade, so that when you run the stone over it, you can actually tell if the angle's right and if you've got the right angle to clean that blade off according to the original angle.
Set bevel, exactly. That's what we're trying to do, is make sure we've got the knife as close to the original. So once we actually start, it's not going to take too much actual steel off of the blade, because we don't want to falsely wear the blade as such, and we maintain that angle that's already on the blade.
Beautiful. Let's move on. So what sort of oil are you using there?
A very fine machine oil is all that you require. You can even use, I've heard of people using things like kerosene, dishwashing liquid with water even, but I like to use a fine machine oil when I'm doing my sharpening.
Beautiful.
have a quick look at that edge and see what it's looking like. It's resetting nicely, still needs a little bit more work, but we're well on track with where we want it to be. You see that nice silver finish there, which means we're on the same angle we had before.
Yep.
And we're just tidying up basically the edges and getting right back onto the actual cutting edge. Once we're satisfied we're there, we'll go on to the fine part of the stone, and then we'll just finish that off and bring it back to its original edge. Going forward this time, and as we're going forward, you'll be able to see that you've got the actual definitive edge of the actual cutting part of the blade now starting to show up as we wipe the oil off. And going forward now, we're making sure we're not creating a bevel. We're getting rid of any of the bevels, ready to go onto the fine side. Okay. Now that we've reset our edges, what we'll do is we'll just finish it off with a steel, remembering the steel's not going to sharpen the knife so much as just finish it off. It's all about making sure you keep your angle quite consistent. I'll show you something in a moment that helps me do it the way I like to do it. That's pretty much all we need to do, and that edge now is very sharp, ready to go out on another adventure. The little trick I was just mentioning, and I do this with any of the blades, is basically as I put my thumb evenly across the back of the actual blade, my thumb as it touches the steel gives me an angle, and although as I come off I'll lose that touch, however I've reset it from the start and I'm just keeping consistent. Same when I come on the other side, I get that angle as I come off. So it's just a little trick that I do, and that gives you, again, I'm not sure exactly what that angle is, but it'll be somewhere in that low to mid 20s. That nice, ready to go.